Nerd on the Podcast is proudly partnered with Apogee Electronics and Odyssey Headphones, leaders in the field of audio.
I'm the one who catches them all.
What is, everyone? Welcome back to Nerd On, the podcast you didn't need, but you deserve, and where all levels of nerd are welcome. Some people have Pokemon as pets, and some use them for battle. We coexist between the two. Today, we take a more faithful step to the game's source material and the marquee topic, Pokemon Origins. Pokemon.
No!
Pokemon monsters, Pokemon are the champions.
We're doing this just to make
when
Tom
we
upset.
do the actual Digimon, then hit me up. Let me know because I'm ready for it.
Okay.
Because I'm actually ready for it. So
He sounds so, like,
He's very
spited.
defensive
Like,
today.
yeah.
I mean,
Very
everyone talks
upset.
a lot of shit about the Digimon theme, and no one talks shit about the Pokemon theme. I was like, but they're both just as catchy. Anyways, they're both trying to sell toys. But specifically, let's get the show on the road. Let's introduce our host. My name is Tom.
I'm Caitlin.
And I am Josh. Corey is joining us on the interwebs, that sentient voice. Say hello, Corey.
Yes.
That's what
Boop,
the.
boop, beep, boop, boop.
I wish
What
that's
are
how it
zeros?
was with all ghost seances. Are you there? Yes.
Yes. This episode is brought to you in part by the members of the Nerd On Nation that is powered by Patreon.
Patreon.
As a member of the Nerd On Nation, you do get fun stuff like a Discord server in which you can talk to us, and with other members of the Nerd On Nation, you can get bonus content. You can get early access to content. You can get discount. There's a lot going on over there. Promo codes, a bunch. Check it out, nerdon.io/Patreon.
Do they get it?
Dramatic pause.
Do they
Nailed it.
get it?
They do.
Do they get it?
They do get it.
They do get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
They do get it.
I
They
mean,
do get it.
and also thanks to our partners at Apogee and Odyssey, right?
Yes.
The audio professionals of the world.
Yes,
Oh,
we
man.
have recently partnered with Apogee and Odyssey, like we mentioned. Odyssey headphones are beautiful. They sound so incredible. I cannot recommend them enough. And the team over there has been super awesome, as well as our friends over at Apogee. They continue to amaze us with their support and their love for us and what we do. We use them for our audio interface behind me. For those on the video version, it is an Element 88. I love it. It is the good. But yeah, that is the housekeeping.
Yeah.
Mm.
We had a live show with them. You can listen to it now.
Yeah. I just realized I'm wearing a Sega shirt to a Nintendo property.
Sacrilege.
The most like cardinal sin. So yeah.
Oh, shame, Tom.
Wow.
We're talking about Pokemon Origins, baby.
We are.
This is I don't know about y'all when y'all saw this, but I love this. And we're gonna talk a lot more throughout the show. But Pokemon Origins is 4 episodes, and it was a promo for Pokemon X and Y.
Oh.
X and Y? No, Black and White. Pokemon Black
There it
and
is.
White, and then Black and White 2. And it hit me a long time ago, but it's 4 episodes. It's literally a commercial.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
yeah.
But it's one whole completed
Yeah.
commercial.
I think
And
you're
then I
right
did
with X
this.
and Y.
Excuse me?
I think you're right with X and Y because it has the Mega Evolutions.
I feel like Mega Evolutions were
it's-
in. No, they were not in Black and White because
Yeah.
Black and White was when you
There's
can
so
combine
many.
the Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's so,
So different. Yeah,
What?
it's crazy.
Wow.
Because Black and White's in Unova region, and yeah.
I
Anyways,
have a question. We'll talk about
we'll
it
talk
later.
about it. But that means at the end of this 4-arc video episodic commercial that they put out, it's finished. So that means on this show, at the end of this episode, we're going to rate it, and so that gives way to our first segment, which is Guess
Yes,
That
that
Grump.
Grump.
Did
Baby,
Pokemon
I
monsters
compare you
Pokemon
to
are
a
the
kiss
champions.
from Roselia on the grave. Ooh, the more I catch of them, the more that I love them, hey.
150. Also, Electro, Diglett, Nidoran, Mankey, Venusaur, Rattata, Fearow, Pidgey, Sea King, Jolteon, Dragonite, Ghastly. Okay, I'm done.
Because there's 150
Y'all
And more
know
to see.
to be a Pokemon master is my destiny.
Zubat, Primeape, Meow, Onix, Geodude,
Oh,
Rapidash,
shit.
Magneton, Snorlax, Gengar. Okay.
Wait,
Oh,
Oh
man,
my
I
God,
wanted to
did they
keep
name them
going.
all?
Oh, in the
Yeah.
original Poke Rap? Yeah, for sure.
Do you
Oh,
know
yeah,
all
no,
the
they
words?
I've been waiting for like a karaoke night where they have that. And I'm like, I got you. Don't even need the screen. That'd be
Wow, I'm impressed.
at a convention. Someone actually did all 900 Pokemon, and I was like, "That's fucking ridiculous." But anyway,
I think Josh's whole being just sucked into his body like,
it was a 20-minute. It was a 20-minute video.
Oh, yeah.
That's like some people spend their time learning Rap God, and Tom spend his time
Pokemon,
learning
yo,
Poke
because
Raps.
everyone's gonna
Some
know.
people take their time to learn Go Ninja Rap from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too.
No.
Used
So
to.
if you are brand new to the show, welcome. Hope you are doing safe in the world, and you are welcome to our audio show and for your personal pleasures.
You know
Okay.
it.
Yes. So Guess That Grump is our first segment where we are going to go around the table and on the internet if they're joined by a Source Connect to choose who we think is going to have the lowest score from 0 out of 5. No matter how high the number is, the lowest number in the group becomes the Grump for the week. And Corey has a segment about that with our Nerd On Nation.
Yes, if you become a part of the Nerd On Nation, you get to vote as well, and your votes are counted in the tally. If you get it right, you get a shout out at the end of the show. So you join the Nerd On Nation today and start voting on the Grump.
So since I always mess it up and I always get it wrong,
Yeah.
Corey, go first.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Caitlin.
What?
I don't know.
Okay.
I got put on the spot, and I'm taking notes, so I just...
Now it's going to feel like revenge, but Corey.
Oh, boy. I
Wow.
don't know about that.
I don't either.
There's a lot of
It's
spite
really
in the room.
hard.
I'm going to vote for Caitlin
Okay.
just to attack you.
Okay.
No,
Great,
not really.
alright.
No.
It's fine.
Okay, so Caitlin voted for Corey. Josh voted for Caitlin. I'll vote for Josh.
That was the list.
Well, okay,
And
honest.
the Nerd On Nation. Oh, go ahead.
My honest vote is because Josh is the one that has the least amount of Pokemon experience out of all of us.
Oh.
So that means it's scary because it's different.
You're
But
the
they-
only
but they
one that
did
I could think
such
about.
a good job of explaining everything. That's why I didn't pick Josh because I was like,
Well, this.
but-
Because you thought that I was a little kid going, yay!
I mean, that was me. So.
Oh, okay.
Corey,
Generally,
Corey,
I
your
have the same
vote.
response that you do.
Well, my vote was for Caitlin, but the Nerd On Nation's vote is a two-way tie between me and Josh.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll each get a little half point.
I'm
Dissension.
not the one.
Not me.
I'm not the
either.
one who grumps.
They
You
did
are.
vote for you though, Tom.
Oh.
Ha, ha, ha.
Just we had more.
Was there any votes
so
for me?
technically,
Probably
it'll
not.
go Tom first at the end of the show, then between me and Josh, and then Caitlin last.
Okay. So that brings us to gives us bring our new.
What?
That's what I did with the
What is
first
wrong
part.
with you today?
English.
That's what I
was
did
a
with the
lot of
first part, and
things.
you went blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Performed oral. So that gives us to
Uh-huh.
our next segment, which is where we're going to do initial reactions and our first impressions. Corey.
Oh, I feel so on the spot today. And it's so
Every
jarring
time.
because it's only in my ear. I can't see like physical cues of when
Every
it's coming.
time.
So I watched this. I pretty much bought it when it came out. When actually Tom was the one who told me about it, and I ended up just buying the entire 4 episodes on iTunes because I was like, I know I'm gonna like this. I've played Pokemon since the first one, and guess what? I loved it. It's about Red, which is a huge boost for me because Red is the OG Pokemon trainer.
And his favorite color and like
And it's my
everything.
favorite color, and he's got my favorite starter.
I
and
chose
it's- and
poorly.
it's a lot of, just like grooming me to love this. And it brought back. This is gonna sound so silly. It brought back like the rival character, which I've missed in
Blue.
Pokemon games recently. Because it's always like, hey, I'm your friend, but we're gonna fight. And I missed when he was kind of a punk. that
Smell you
just
later,
wanted to beat.
Gramps.
Kind of a dick.
Yeah. So
a little bit.
and I there's a lot of little lore things that added in there that I really loved, and we'll get into that later. But overall, I think this is like one of the best Pokemon series,
Nice.
You want to
except
pop?
for the Pokemon movie.
You want to popcorn somebody?
Yeah, Tom.
Okay.
Let me hear what Josh has to say.
All right.
So, I have a confession. I feel like a terrible person because I do not have a lot of Pokemon experience.
You were a
Oh,
Digimon
that's
boy.
fine.
I was a
You're an
Digimon.
uncultured swine.
I was an uncultured swine.
But you were a
and-
Digimon boy.
Yeah,
Yeah. High
So
five.
you are a cultured swine.
kind of. In another
In another
realm.
realm.
Different but same.
You're leagues above some people, so don't worry.
No, what I mean is that so I didn't have a lot of experience with Pokemon. Yeah, I've played a couple of Pokemon games, but obviously not to the depth that you have, Tom, or you, Corey.
As we have seen on
or
the
me.
table,
Or
I've
you.
collected
All
all
right.
the games.
You haven't expressed hardcore like how much you've done Pokemon.
No, you know what she
so-
does? She goes on our update show, which you can listen now on every Friday. She says, "I want to play Pokemon. I need a Switch." Never gets it.
Well, that's a financial
Well-
commitment.
All right.
I
No,
did
no.
the same thing before I had a Switch, so I don't blame her. And then I got one.
And now you
Um,
blame her.
So the reason
Yeah,
why
no,
I
I
say
blame
that is that watching this made me go, "Fuck, I missed out." This
did.
this is
You did.
really good. I actually watched it a couple of times because I was like,
Yes.
"Wow." I thought it was I thought it was perfect from beginning to end because I liked in the episodes at the beginning of the episode, and then I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this, and then we're gonna go do this thing. I like that. I thought it was
Yeah.
cool. I didn't need to see all that. It's like I went to this gym. I don't need to see
You
8
watched
fucking
like
gyms.
you,
You-
watched like 10 different seasons of
Well,
Pokemon
you-
in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You played the original games, and
Yeah.
so it felt like, oh, cool. That
you
I
played
remember.
Let's Go.
I remember
Yeah.
exactly like that. It was.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. And it makes me actually appreciate Let's Go a little bit.
Mhm.
Because it was like, wait, I feel like I just got a show of Let's Go a little bit. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it's me. It's me.
It me.
I was there. I am the one
me.
that Pokemon's.
I'm the Pokemon boy.
I'm the one who boys.
I'm the one who catches them all.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Gang Grumps.
Yeah.
Shout out.
So yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was one of those things that I watched it through because you have to homework, and then I was like, I think I'm gonna watch it again because I just want
So
to.
wait. So you were the one that was like, "Yay!"
Yay!
Exactly. That's what I.
Yeah, no, I love. I mean, and here's the thing, and it's probably because I'm uncultured in terms of the Pokemon world. I like the original 150.
Hmm?
I'm cool
Yes.
with those. Like the other, like as we went into the other worlds, I just kind of lost interest because I was like, those don't look like my childhood. I like these ones.
Pocket monsters.
So it's scary because it's different.
Those nostalgia glasses.
Yay,
Oh, boy, howdy.
nostalgia glasses. So yeah, I liked it.
Caitlin.
You liked it?
Kaylin,
Yeah.
it's your turn.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Okay, she's done. So
I was
No.
so into Pokemon. Like I had Pokemon birthday cakes. I had
Mini?
a giant mini Pokemon birthdays. And I had the like binder with
Did you go
the
to the-
shinies.
did you go to the Pokemon spot in Japan?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to the Pokemon Center. That was the best
I was
fucking
super
thing
jelly.
ever.
I was super peanut butter and jelly.
I have the VHS tape of the Pokemon movie.
Hell yeah. The
Like-
fucking clamshell, that white clamshell, baby. Hell yeah.
You know it.
Hell yeah.
I had so many toys. So like watching this was just like slapping you all over the face with nostalgia. And it was
Hey, member.
yeah. I was like, I got weirdly emotional during some parts that I was not expecting to get like my heart all ripped out over.
Good. Good.
Especially because I was like, haha, this is for kids. This explains everything on such a minute detail. And then like every now and again, one sentence would be like, they believed. And I was like, they believed. But yeah, it was great. I liked it. I like the show.
Okay, there it is.
There it is.
So pour moi, I remember it was like 2013 or I think that's when it came out. It's when I watched it. And I was working at this I was working at a store back in Sacramento before I'd moved down to LA. And I remember just seeing like a snippet of it on YouTube or something like that. And I was getting all the games. I have every single game, and
Oh,
so
wow.
I've kept up all the time and all that stuff. I haven't beaten all the games because sometimes I'm like, okay, I just want to get it, support them, but also like that's a lot of fucking games. Because they were coming out
Yeah.
two every year, every
Yeah.
2 years, and so it was like fucking hard. So I
I feel like they build like a trauma when they have two. They're like, which one you gonna get?
oh yeah, well
Make your choice.
that's the point of the game. It gave children at that age the first chance at agency to be like, you're making a decision how you're playing this entire game. You have 3 options, and one is going to be left behind to leave in the dust forever.
Forever.
No lie. In the original Pokemon Red, if you go back to Oak after you've beaten the Pokemon League, Bulbasaur is still in his Pokeball, never
Yep.
chosen. And you're like, God, because
Yeah.
you only chose Squirtle or Blastoise
It just
or
rips.
Charmander.
It
Holy shit!
Forever.
yeah. No, it's painful.
It's like, oh, that's still there. Can I have it though? No.
No.
Okay.
No, you made your choice in the beginning.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Josh is like experiencing so much panic and sadness.
So when I watched it, I watched it obviously English dub, which we'll be talking about today. I absolutely loved it because as much as I loved the anime show with Ash and Misty and Brock, this was cool because this is a little bit more of what the game gave you, and that was always a weird disconnect as a kid. You know, you'd watch the show and be like, I'm already on Ruby, and Ash is still fucking around with this bullshit Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
Time frame, like chronologically, is this after? I'm not talking about production. I'm talking about in the world.
Mhm.
Is this is after Ash? Or is that not really?
Okay, so Ash is like off-brand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like think of the Spider-Verse and then the MCU. It's like some off-brand.
Oh,
It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Like, and so the true story is like with
Red.
Red and all that stuff. And there's other manga, and some people actually really, really love the manga because they show a little bit more of the relationship between Pokemon and the real world. It's much more like Detective Pikachu, how they show like, oh, these Pokemon
Josh
do
is
these
like,
things.
I am interested.
And each game installment is a character. So like,
I'm just like, I did not know that.
so Red is a character, Blue is a character, Gold is a character, Yellow is a character, Black is a character.
Chartreuse.
Silver.
All those characters are all and like I think Silver is like, I don't know, I forget, but I think it's like actually a villain character. So it's kind of dope. And
Did
like
it like change everybody's world when they were like sword and shield?
not necessarily, because the thing is like in Japan, I know for a fact that they're a little bit more in tune with what the true lore of Pokemon
Okay.
is. And it's, I think, a little bit like what comic books are to us.
I'm sorry to stop you. I just have so many questions.
No, it's fine. I just
good stuff.
I'm trying to answer it. But yeah, I think it's how we feel with comic books. It's like, I like Old Man Logan. It's like, but do you like the story where Logan lost his adamantium claws? Like, what? And it's like,
What?
there's all those stories. So it's like all those things can happen. So
That was me.
but at the end of it all, I absolutely love this 4-episode commercial.
It's great.
And to me, I thought this was like a perfect
Best marketing
execution
ever.
of like, to me, that's what the Transformers cartoon is. This is literally meant to sell you toys. And to me, there was no going about it where like, this was here to sell you the one mechanic in the new game.
Yeah.
It was Mega Evolution. I was
Is it-
like, holy shit.
And there's like several
Yeah.
different things like this as well.
In
Like Pokemon Generations.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
Pokemon Twilight,
There's
which is
Pokemon
out
Legends.
right now.
Oh.
Twilight is coming out.
I
I
l-
think it is.
Yeah, there's Legends too, and Legends takes place within the anime show.
Josh is like, it's so much.
It's cool.
I just did not know.
We could
Wow.
talk
It's
about it.
almost like there's been 20 some odd years of it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it's not like it has $98 billion franchise.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I liked it. And that brings us to our next two segments where we're going to do our brief synopsis and then our production.
Oh.
And then we'll move on to the meat and potatoes, which is our favorite parts, favorite characters, and then we'll rate it. So let's go over the brief synopsis.
We catch Pokemon.
Okay.
That's
so
it.
if you've ever played Red and Blue, it opens up with a little menu of continue, new game, and then your options.
I love it.
And that's how the show starts. And it opens up just grand, just like how the first game was, where you start with Professor Oak. He didn't say, "This is my grandchild. What's their name?" He doesn't do that shit. But it says like, "Hey, this is Pokemon." And you follow Red, who wakes up one day late because he has to go get the Pokemon from Professor Oak. Pokedex. And then he runs across his neighbor and rival, Blue. And the iconic music plays. Do 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 do. Oh, it's so good.
I know.
Anyways, and then Red gets Charmander, and then Blue, who's like, I don't get a Pokemon because of my name. I'll get it because you got a fire type, Squirtle. And then
But I'm gonna do it anyway.
He's a little dick.
a little asshole, which is fucking great.
That's
And
what I miss in these games.
and so in the first episode, it shows how he does not have a good Red does not have a good grasp of training Pokemon and what it means to be one with your Pokemon and have it create a bond with.
And,
And
who
then-
comes along, Tom?
Johnny Young Bosch playing Brock is like, hey bitch, fucking take your Pokemon to a Pokemon Center.
Just like that too.
and then we'll battle.
Uncanny.
And he gets his first
Brock's an
badge.
OG.
And then Red becomes destined to become the greatest trainer. And then so throughout the later episodes, he runs into all the other gym leaders, beats the gyms, gets the gym badges, catches more Pokemon. And at the end of every episode, it shows saving the data and shows how many badges he got and how many Pokemon he has. And he
I
also
love that.
yes, and he runs into Team Rocket. And then by the third episode, titled Giovanni, he runs into the last gym leader of Team Rocket, Giovanni, and then he through Red's adversity and willingness
And
to
heart
and
and
heart,
respect.
unlocks pretty much Giovanni's childhood, and he was like, I used to love Pokemon as much as you do.
Ratatouille.
Right? Yes, exactly. He Ratatouille's him. And then he goes on to the Elite Four. And at the start
played.
of the 4th episode, named Charizard, Ash beats Blue at the Pokemon League and becomes the new champion
Yeah,
of the
bitch.
world. And then gets, in earlier episodes, was told by Mr. Fuji to use these stones. And so he goes to this cave where this Pokemon defeated Blue, and then he fights Mewtwo. And then in a big twist of fate, fucking something that never happened in Red and Blue, the original games, Red gets to Mega Evolve Charizard.
Which was cool as
and-
fuck.
And becomes a Mega Charizard, and then defeats.
You like that underwater sequence there, Josh?
Yeah. And then
I'm sorry. I feel like Blue went, love, my only weakness. How did you know?
And then captures a Mewtwo, and then he's like, I have 150 Pokemon. And it's like, but there's still a Mew. So the adventure continues.
But it doesn't.
If you had a Pokemon
That's a
event, it did.
straightforward answer.
Pokemon Power, baby. And that's That's the end of the show.
And it
That's it.
continues in your mind
Continues in your mind. I mean, the adventure goes on for
and in your
forever.
heart.
Ever.
And then he goes to Johto, and then he meets Silver. Anyways,
In the show?
no, in the canon,
then-
in the game canon. Go to Mount Silver, everyone. So that brings us to our
Production!
Production.
I have that. So the
The
studios that worked
production.
on this are Pokemon IG, who did 009, Re-Cyborg, Batman Gotham Knight, and Fushigi Yugi. And then Zebek, which I don't know if I pronounced that right, sorry, who did Attack on Titan, Berserk, The Golden Age Arc 1, and Naruto Shippuden. OLM, who did Beyblade, Code Geass, Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. The showrunners are Daiki Tomiyasu, who did Pokemon Sun and Moon, Inazuma 11, Pikaya. I probably said that wrong. Sorry. Hideya Takahashi, who did Full Metal Alchemist, Sword Art Online, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
You didn't say that wrong.
No, I did not.
Okay.
Itsuro Kawasaki, who did Ghost in the Shell, Psycho Pass, Sakura Wars, and Yukio. Yukio Kuroda, who did Blood Plus. It's tongue twisters today. Zoids and Baki. The writers are Kuniaki. Sorry, I thought there were two N's there. Kuniaki Kasahara, who did Sergeant Frog, which I freaking love so much. Prince of Tennis and D. Grayman. Mitsutaka Hirota, who did Avengers Confidential, Black Widow, and Punisher, Digimon Try, and Stitch with an exclamation point. The cast is Bryce Pappenbrook, who did Attack on Titan, Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight, The Disastrous Life of Saiki K, Reawakened, Lucian Dodge, shout out Lucian, who did Fate Zero, Carolyn Tuesday, Little Witch Academia, which I was also in as Croy. Sorry. I had like one moment of confidence and I was like, no, I'm bad. And then I stopped. Kyle A. Bear, who did Dragon Ball Z, Bleach, My Hero Academia. Johnny Young Bosch, who did Trigun, Bleach, Code Geass, Lelouch, V. Britannia. And Laura Post, who I love very dearly, shout out, who has been in This Corner of the World, Cells at Work, and Persona 5. This released on October 2nd in 2013. There are 4 episodes, so it's one season. They're like 25 minutes apiece. There's no reported budget, and there's no really tomato score on that. So
It was just a
that's the
promo.
production. Just the
Really?
promo.
Yeah, I fucking scoured the internet, every anime form I could find. Like, what's the budget?
Yeah, I didn't find much
What's the
information.
budget? And then in Rotten Tomatoes, it's like, it's here, but there's no score. So I'm like,
And
that's
just
fine.
from my side of the world, because I like watching through it, I could hear, like, I've been around Lucian enough where I could hear his voice in
Mhm.
different spots, and I could hear Laura's voice in different spots. I could hear everyone's voices in different spots, and that's generally a sign to me that the budget was not huge.
and I'm going to say
Hmm.
this. I'm not a voice actor, and I have no voice actor friends. But I get to the point where I'm like, I could tell that's Sean Schimmel's voice. That's Yuri Lowenthal's voice. They're playing 5 characters.
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
like, that's so weird.
You can kind
Yeah.
like I feel like when it comes to anime, they're really reluctant to share their budget. But
well, I mean, also isn't someone like you coming in? You're like technically good for like 3 or 4 voices, right?
Right.
And so it's like, why would I cast like 18 people for 18 roles when I can cast 6 people and they all just get through?
I mean, they do that on
Yeah.
Futurama, Simpsons.
oh
all
yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
shit.
It's done all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I feel like sometimes with anime they do it out of budget constraints, and then with
Yes.
American animation they do it because the actors are not saying they're better, but it's
Versatile.
like they want to be able to do those voices.
Right.
Well,
And they're
yes
already
and no.
paying them
It's
so
also
much
budgety
to yeah.
constraints.
Yeah, animation. There's no money in that, unless you're Simpsons.
I have 2 questions,
Okay.
Yes.
and one of them will lead into favorite parts.
Yes, please.
My first question. So this came out in 2013.
Yes.
Yes.
When
Yes.
did the original games come out? I know that they went. Boop,
I
boop,
think
boop,
it's
and it didn't-
1995 or
Right.
1994.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can double
'Cause
check.
I was teeny.
Because only reason I think those two numbers is because every time I see Pokemon
96?
96 is when the
I
game
think-
came out.
96.
'Cause I
sounds
remember
right.
all
So
the
in the
credits.
intro, it went boop 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 and down to red and blue, and then it had the year next to it too.
Pokemon first game release February 27th, 1996.
Okay.
Wow.
Nailed it.
The first Pokemon game, Pokemon Red and Green versions came in Nintendo Game Boy system in Japan February 27th. So in America, we probably got it later.
Okay.
The only reason I know that is because I was 7 when I lived at a specific place when I remember my
Getting it?
buddy Nate, shout out, playing it. So
Aw.
Okay.
I remember it usually says like 96, 97 because it would always say Game Freak,
Mhm.
Creatures, and then Pokemon
probably-
Company.
came out in Japan in 90s.
6.
Before that, yeah, earlier.
96 February 27th, it says in Japan.
Oh, there you go.
So what's the question?
Well, I mean, so this came out so many years afterwards. What was it? Please go over what it was promoting.
So think of it like Final Fantasy games, right?
Yeah.
There's different installments in it. Let's
Yeah.
say now we got to Final Fantasy 12, and they're like, cool, we're going to do 4 episodes for a short series to promote what this new Final Fantasy game mechanic is. It's not even like it's a brand new game. Like, because what they did was
US
pretty much
1998.
like said they did like an animated version of Final Fantasy 1, but then they included a Final Fantasy 12 mechanic in it. So they pretty much rehashed the first Red and Blue and also Yellow, I guess, games. And then they added the mechanic that was later on in like Pokemon X and Y. And this is again like I hate to make the list, but it's red, blue, yellow, silver, gold, crystal, ruby, sapphire, emerald. Then it's black, white 2, then X and Y, and they made it for the X and Y
We
series.
got Pearl and Diamond.
Pearl and Diamond and Platinum. Fucking crime.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot.
Way,
of
way to go,
games.
you loser.
I know. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck? You call yourself a Pokemon
You
fan?
not- how are you a nerd if you got one thing wrong one time?
Yeah.
I'll take all
You
my
named the
Pokemon
others
stuff on the
chronologically.
table off the table.
Okay, so my second question
Yeah.
is going to go into favorite parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite parts is the Mega Evolution.
Mhm.
I mean, holy shit.
It was really,
But-
really cool.
I need to understand Mega Evolutions.
Yes.
So they are a one-time event, or they can hope, or they happen random.
So
like, what
you
is that?
remember the game.
They,
You remember how to battle. And you go into a battle and they
Yeah.
have 4 options.
turn-based game.
You have fight, bag, Pokemon, and then run. And then when you're in the fight option, you have 4 attack moves. And when they created Pokemon X and Y, part of the fight option is inside says Mega Evolve. And
if
that
you had this correct stone for the correct Pokemon.
yes.
Mm.
So his stone is called a Charizardite X. Charizardite Y evolves into a
Wow.
different type of Pokemon. And
Yeah.
you have this little fucking wrist thing, blah, blah. So there's a Gengarite, and then there's like
Some have 2
Tyrannorite.
forms, some have 1 form.
Yeah, so it was based on like if you got the X version or the Y version, you got different forms of Charizard. So the Y version is one I got, and that's not like this blue dragon thing. It's more like it has
Twist.
3 horns and there's like baby wings on its arms instead. Not too different from its regular form, but anyways,
And I got
It-
X.
and it would like it would last throughout the entire battle if you never switched out the Pokemon.
So was it? It was one time, or
You can
During
use it
the
for
battle.
every
now it was
battle.
in your now it was in your inventory. You
Yeah.
can use it
You can use it anytime you had that Pokemon. Then.
But it's not like a evolution stone where it's like that's
Forever.
a forever
Okay.
effect.
And
it's
then so
only
after-
per
yeah,
battle effect.
after the battle ends, it goes back to regular Charizard.
Okay.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right.
That's why
Well,
he
that was
poofed back.
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it was
fine.
super dope.
I was like, how's he gonna? What?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So that's one of your favorite parts.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
so dope. Like I was kind of watching this while I was doing something, while I was exporting one of our episodes, and I was peeking over, watching, listening, and when that happened, I like stopped and I was like, whoa. Yeah.
Corey, favorite part? One.
One favorite part. That's tough. I mean, the switch in Giovanni was pretty sweet.
Mm.
I really enjoy those kind of villains who
Get Ratatouille.
get Ratatouille in a sense, yeah. Who finally find like a higher calling. be like, oh, okay, this is how I used to be. It's like a father and son type thing.
Oh,
So I'm a sucker for it. But like honestly, my favorite part is actually one whole episode, the Cubone episode. It's my favorite part.
Oh, yeah.
And Marowak.
Yeah, also just because when they get to Lavender Town, they actually have the music playing in the background, which made me really happy.
So good.
oh, it's
Um,
creepy.
It's definitely my favorite episode.
One of my favorite parts, I think, would probably be. Oh, I know what it is. It's anytime Blue's on the screen. Because
Anytime Blue?
Blue, you know why? Because the theme,
that,
the
Lucian?
theme music.
Oh, I was going to say.
Because
Because that's what you do to us?
I mean, the thing
How
is,
does it feel to suck so bad?
I'm just. The thing is, okay.
It is.
As a child, I think the only Game Boy game I played before this moment was Harvest Moon.
Whoa.
and so,
like,
Harvest Moon is so good.
Harvest Moon was fucking great, but I never got used to a rival or a villain.
Oh.
Like a villain that's playful, not like Team Rocket, right? And
Right.
seeing Blue done in this way instead of Gary being like, I have a car, and all these girls like, I'm a kid, I don't give a shit about that. Like, but this kid who's also your age, who whooped your fucking ass, and you got the Charmander, you didn't have this Pikachu who didn't like you, you had Charmander who chose you, and you had Squirtle that chose them, and it's like, it was like a really well done rival. And also, just the theme is so well done. Like, I'm used to that like 16-bit OG, whatever they could store in the small
I
little
love
cartridge
the music
music.
of the whole thing.
But the way they update it to be like, these are how they were meant to be sound. And it's like,
yes.
oh.
Like the strings and stuff that came.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
And then some rock and roll guitar.
Everything was like hearing it not be the like chiptune bit
Yeah.
tune music was like just so fulfilling.
Yeah, it's very much like, what's that one song? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's the song. But then I really loved when Blue was at, he was just waiting. He's like, oh, it took you long enough. It's like, oh shit. I remember that in the game. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I beat Lance. He was fucking hard as shit. Fucking bullshit Dragonite. Then all of a sudden it's like, you have one more person. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean one more person?
Elite Four.
He said
Elite
4
5.
motherfuckers. And then it's like just Blue hangouts like, hey, smell you later. I'm like,
I never.
God.
That's another question.
Dude, another favorite moment is when Professor Oak just fucking rails into Blue.
And he's
like,
like,
oh, yeah.
shut up.
You lost because you
Stop
didn't,
being such an asshole.
you didn't believe in your Pokemon, motherfucker. What's your name again?
I love it. What's
Josh,
my grandson's name again?
Josh, you had a
Little bitch. That's right.
you had a question?
Sorry, I just was imagining
Pokemon
Professor
League.
Oak going, why are you such a little bitch?
Oh,
Does it just suck being you?
oh my
This
god.
guy has a heart. That's why he won. Okay, so
He's my new grandson.
I have disowned you.
He's mine.
Oh.
Okay, so I had this question when I was playing Let's Go too.
Okay.
Like you're the Elite Four.
In Pokemon Let's Go takes place after this.
Yeah, no. It's more so a mechanic or an idea that is involved. Okay, so you have the Elite Four.
Uh-huh.
And then you become the Pokemon champion.
Uh-huh.
Do you become one of the Elite Four? Like, are you just like, hey,
No,
bitches, I'm
that's
better
like-
than you?
In this timeline and world, no. You are just the fucking champ.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
But
those four are just like, we're
well,
just waiting
They're
here.
the last stage.
they're glorified henchmen to you, technically.
Yeah.
But in the newest Pokemon Sword and Shield, the way they rearranged it is like you were all battling in a cup, in like a World Cup, to become like gym leaders. And so like the loserish one
Okay.
becomes the first gym,
Okay,
then the
okay.
second gym, and then like the strongest one becomes the 8th gym.
Cool.
And then they all come back and they all battle you in the main cup, and then you just battle the champion.
Okay.
And so it makes to me, I like that update. It makes a little bit more sense. But the
I was
thing
gonna
is,
say that
yeah.
makes a lot more sense.
In here, it's just more like we're 4
Because the thing that
extra gym
Because
leaders.
the thing that I thought, I was like, so Red goes to the Hall of Fame, and I'm like, oh, those bitches out there? Nah,
No.
they're just the Elite Four. But you
Or a
get to be on the
champion.
wall.
Yeah. you are a
Also, when
champion.
they were like entering in the Pokemon through that little thing, I thought that they were like sucking the Pokemon out and somehow turning them into the
Digital.
like picture. And I was like,
You are
oh,
Digimon.
Digital monsters, Digimon are
There
the
is-
Pokemon.
if you actually think about it, there is a Digimon in Pokemon. It's Porygon.
Yeah.
Porygon?
Porygon is a digitally created Pokemon. And it literally,
Polygon?
Porygon.
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 You're right. Sorry, Polygon was that website that
Yeah.
I forgot all about.
But Porygon
Yeah.
literally manages your Pokebox.
Oh,
It's the thing that literally
Wow.
moves your
Oh
Pokemon
my
around.
god, that's right.
Yeah, it was never before episode.
Digimon's real.
Yes, it's always been real. But Josh,
I was just gonna say,
Thanks, Bill.
I love one-liners. Like, science is so cool.
Oh my god.
Just, I mean, and like you were saying, Blue, just all of his like shitty one-liners. You're like, I was feeling real good about myself.
Yeah.
Now I'm not.
Well, his line as a champion is like, you know what that means? I'm the greatest trainer in the entire world. I was like, holy fuck, they made that so epic. Like, because it was like, oh, jeez.
There were so many just like random lines that had so much like
Gravity.
energy and passion and gravity, and then you're like, oh, okay.
It's because you
By the
don't
way-
believe in your Pokemon.
One of the moments that stuck out to me was when Professor Oak gives him Charmander, and he goes, "You can give him a nickname." And he goes, "A nickname? Let me see. Nope,
No.
I'll just keep calling him Charmander."
That was really
And I was
cute.
like, that was strange writing.
I mean,
way it goes down
it
just
felt,
felt so-
yeah, it felt very tutorial. Feeling.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, yeah.
To me, I liked it for that sense because like they're showing
Gives
you
me a
all,
giggle every time.
they're showing all the mechanics, and it feels good. Caitlin, have you gotten your favorite
Any
part?
nickname I want,
We
huh?
kind
Let's see.
of did
Nope.
the Giovanni getting ratatouille.
Okay.
Was great. That's when I started getting choked up of like, oh god.
I mean, I did kind of like, why does he get me so riled up this way?
Disappointed?
It's like,
Why am I
why do I
disappointed?
feel this way because of this
I used to throw
Boy.
my Pokeballs like that.
this little
like
boy.
watching him have this
This
like
asshole.
emotional response to being like, oh yeah, I forgot to have fun in my life. I was like, yeah,
I-
buddy,
I
just
will
have
say,
a good time.
when they first fought at the fucking in
That was
Silphco,
messed up.
and it was in the office building. I was like, oh my god, they're destroying the building.
Yeah.
Like, and he just says, he's like, Mega Punch. He's like, Surf. I was like, oh, he just
So
killed
hella
him.
quietly and calmly.
He just said Surf. I was like, he killed the Charizard. He killed him.
He killed him
Just,
dead.
just drowned this fucking Lizardon
And that was
Dude, that
was like
that Charmander almost dies in
All the
beginning
time.
of that
multiple
Squirtle.
times. Yeah.
His tail almost goes out.
Yeah.
when
Wait. If Charmander's
his tail goes out, they
they
die.
die.
like dead,
Yeah.
They
dead,
die.
Dead,
Yeah.
die.
In the game, in the lore of Pokemon, they die. In Josh, one of the episodes of Pokemon, the anime with Ash, it's actually Gary. Gary leaves him out because he thinks like, oh, you're a weak
Charizard
Pokemon,
is useless.
and he leaves the Charmander on a wood stump, and it rains overnight. And the Charmander has to hold this little leaf to cover himself so he doesn't, his thing doesn't go. And then Ash like runs in the rain, like, I'm going to save him. He's still waiting for him. I'm going to be. And then that's the only Pokemon that Ash has that
I'm gonna
third
cry.
evolves. Oh, it's so good.
Oh my god.
oh
It's
yeah,
so
Pokemon will
good.
fuck
Yeah.
you right up.
And that's the thing where I'm like, Pokemon did more for animals than PETA ever did. But
What? One of my
That's not wrong.
one of my favorite moments, and it's more of an anime kind of mechanic,
Mhm.
is at the beginning when his mom comes in and is like, Professor Oak, finish that thing that he talked to you about. And he comes out of his room and he goes,
And then
he's
falls
so
down the stairs.
excited. Yeah! Like, yeah.
Oh.
Anime.
I thought you meant the moment right after that when he runs around the corner and he tries to not fall down the stairs.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say that's a very anime
He's
thing
like,
where people fall downstairs for no
I
reason.
also really loved at the end when he's like getting his name put in the Hall of Fame that the Japanese isms came out real hard. He's
Yeah.
like, are you sure that a guy like me can be in this room? And he's like, yeah, you've earned it and you've worked really hard. So it would be wrong if you weren't. He's like, you're right. I won't bring shame to the Pokemon League. And it was like,
V for victory.
yeah, it was like, this is not American.
You just see the
sure.
you just see the rock and the Toho. The water just hits it. It's like, we get it. We get
Professor
it.
Yes.
X leans in
Don't bring shame.
Jesus.
to the Hall
I
of
so
Fame.
wanted to see Professor Oak in one of those pictures in the background.
Oh, me,
I looked so hard.
I would
Yeah.
love to see if Professor Oak, Mount Fuji, and Blaine were like all buddies.
Mount Fuji?
Yeah.
Mr. Fuji, Fuji-san, Fuji-san.
I mean,
I
True.
mean, that's
True,
like
true.
and that's the cool thing that's the inherent lore that you actually have to start digging in Pokemon, and you don't really learn about it. And then all of a sudden, when they're like, oh, Pokemon more powerful than we can imagine, it's like,
The Mewtwo
Yeah.
lore was so cool.
yeah,
Ooh.
it's done really well. And that was the thing. And Josh, for just to explain to you, Eli 5 you a little bit. In Pokemon Red and Blue, they never straight up say like, you're about to capture Mewtwo. It's very like, here's Bill. He wants to do stuff with Pokemon.
Something's gonna happen.
Here's Blaine. He has a lab, and then also this other lab, and then we don't know what happens.
like old school side quests where you're like getting like you're slowly getting details. You're like, this document might be helpful later.
It's like, oh, you have to go to this place to unlock that place, but when you're in the first place you have to unlock, it has nothing to do with the story, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And
Yeah.
then you just read.
And you really do find that book.
If you just press A at everything, you'll read lore, and you'll be like, I don't know what that means. And then if you actually looked around, like, oh shit, what the fuck is this place? And then you found it, and it's like the most crazy thing.
It's so
But
cool.
one thing I really did like out of that Cubone episode was
My heart.
I really liked that they showed a little bit more of like what it meant to be at the Pokemon Tower,
Mhm.
because like I never understood that as a kid. I was like, what
Me
the fuck?
either.
There
I
was
was-
that white hand on his shoulder.
Yeah, the
Oh,
first
that
part
was
where he was talking to the
messed up.
couple.
If
And
you
they
watch carefully,
disappeared.
their white hand was really on his shoulder that whole time till they said it.
Oh my god.
And then they were ghosts too.
But then the thing is, like, I liked how they were like, I just want to pay my respects to my Growlithe and my Weeping Bell. I was like, oh.
Now I'm a weeping bell.
Now I'm sad. But no, I liked that. I was like, and I liked seeing what a Sylph scope looked like because I never understood what a Sylph scope was. I was like, I need this thing to see things, apparently. And then I'm like, oh, it's fucking binos.
And
Cool.
fucking Giovanni's like just on the spot. The Rocket League is no more.
That was hilarious. They're like, hey guys,
Team
your
Rocket.
healthcare is gone.
Team Rocket canceled.
but
no.
but
Tell him I'm done. This 14-year-old child like changed my
changed my
life.
mind.
I will say though, the fucking battles are like ridiculous
Oh,
because
yeah.
when Ash or Red fights Giovanni and throws out that Rhyhorn and he throws out Victory Bell, and then he does Horn Attack, I was like, that Victory Bell got
Is
impaled.
dead.
He straight got
dead.
impaled. Like when Red threw the Nidoran and then Onyx bited it, and I was like, that thing splatted against the wall. That thing
Dude,
is gone.
My ultimate favorite thing out of all of the fights that happened
Bite.
was when Charizard punched Blastoise and
Oh.
Blastoise looked
No
up and was
salt.
like, fuck you.
No cell. Just looked at him. I was like, oh my God. He's like, I'm not my final form. I was like, oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh, when Blastoise goes Mega, he can Mega, his two cannons turn into one giant one.
oh damn.
Yeah.
Pretty
He's not
insane.
fucking around.
Damn.
Favorite characters or Pokemon? I mean, how do we?
Charizard.
How do we? Yeah, favorite. Would it be just favorite Pokemon then?
Favorite Pokemon? Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
From this
Charizard.
particular
show, yeah.
Cubone. Baby
Ah.
Cubone.
Baby.
Nice. Good
Oh,
choice.
baby.
Just made my heart just like, and he just stands up, throws his bone. He's like,
It's Batman.
yeah.
It's literally
When he
Batman.
clears all the-
Oh, baby
the smog.
Batman.
Caitlin.
Don't throw it to me.
Okay.
I don't know
all right.
yet.
For me, I think, I think it's a Jolteon. Because the thing,
Somehow I knew that's what you were gonna pick.
because like Red and Charizard is cool and all that stuff, but like seeing another trainer use something very like off-brand, it was like really cool. Like also Gengar, like the first thing he saw the second one was like Gengar. I was like, he's fucking smart. Like throw out a ghost type. Like ghost types are hella strong and psychic types, but that didn't fucking do anything because of the plot, you know. But I was like, oh, okay.
Because plot.
because of plot. But so like seeing any
You know he traded for that Gengar.
I know. Seeing any Pokemon that he had that was different than what Ash or other previous like trainers had, I was like really, really nice. Like
Now if he had an Alakazam,
yeah, in
that'd be a different story.
in Pokemon with the anime with Ash and Gary, instead of Red and Blue, Gary has an Eevee instead of a Pikachu, and that's why Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu.
Okay,
I'm like, oh.
okay.
Caitlin?
I'm gonna go with
Same with Pokemon
Blastoise
Yellow.
just for the
Oh, just for the no cell?
Only for
Nice.
that one shot of Blastoise, just like the wide eyes, like
Oh,
that was a
hell no.
mistake.
I was also gonna say one thing super violent was when there was a Squirtle still, and then Blue said bite, and then it like
I
chomped. I was like,
know.
oh, this is violence, child violence.
That was the first time I was like, oh no, Pokemon are
When
fighting
Charmander
for
almost
real.
died.
Yeah. So cool. All favorite Pokemon.
Corey.
He's a Charizard.
Oh, I said Charizard.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, big
just,
red
like, yelled
dragon.
it out.
Yeah. So I guess that brings us to the last segment before
Qualms?
we get to our rating is our
Qualms.
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 I'll go first
Yeah.
because I only have one
All
little
right.
one. It's very little. Sometimes the dialogue was a little repetitive.
Mhm.
Like and what I feel shitty about is that my first round through, I noticed it. Then my second round,
It came
I
out
couldn't
hard.
find the
Oh.
moment where it bothered me. But there was like it happened in one of the battles, so that's why I'm like it's a stretch. It's a tiny qualm where it was like he said one of the people that he was fighting said the same thing twice.
Probably Brock.
Yeah, you know what?
Because that's
probably,
like the most educational fight out of
Yeah.
all of them.
oh,
Yeah.
so you learn this, and then it was like, oh, so you learn this, and it was almost word for word the same thing.
It
And I was
also
like,
could have been Giovanni
no,
That's
it was Giovanni
because
because
it
I
was
was like, wow.
type advantage.
I was in the third episode before I hadn't had a qualm at all. I was like, this is fucking awesome. And then it was the fight with
he
Giovanni,
sent
and I
out-
was like, oh,
He sent out the victory bell and he said, it's like a grass type. Sounds like someone told you that was a ground type trainer. And then he goes through all his Pokemon before Charizard and then sends a Hitmonlee. He's like, sounds like someone told you I was a ground type.
That's
I was
exact.
like, I think that's exactly what it was.
Otherwise, nothing like it is what it is. It's an anime. It's Pokemon.
It's a
I don't
commercial.
I don't know if you know this, by the way. Hitmonlee is named after Bruce Lee. And
Wow.
Hitmonchan
Hitmonchan.
is Jackie Chan.
Oh, that is so cool.
And
Isn't
Hitmon
that
Top
sweet?
is whack.
Ziggy Top.
And Pikachu is
is Pikachu at the shower.
yeah.
is a peeping
Yeah,
Tom.
there it is.
And I'm not going to write you a love song.
Yeah. Okay. So that's my only
One
qualm.
qualm. Okay, Corey?
I just
Putting
wish
you
there
on the
was
spot
more.
again.
Ah.
There was more.
Honestly, like I could use 8 episodes.
Yeah. I'll agree with
I
that.
could do it.
I'd
Or
watch 'em.
9. Let's do 8 gyms and then the Elite 4.
Yeah. Ooh.
I just got
I
spattered with so much. Oh.
I think this was like because I watched the original anime when it came out when I was a kid. Ate that shit up. I've gone
4
back
kids,
and watched it
jelly
and been
donuts?
like, yeah, right. And I've gone back and watched a few and been like, I love the messages of this. I love moments of it, but it's definitely of its time, very of its time,
Yeah.
and definitely geared towards kids even more so than this is. And so this was kind of like that perfect balance. And I just as soon as it ended, or as soon as I guess the second episode started, and he's like, and then I did the second gym, and then I was like, so no Misty? No.
The first bit. The
But
first
give me
bit.
that.
Yeah. So my only qualm is that I wish there was more.
I will say the things that I loved about Pokemon Origins is what I love about Digimon too. In Digimon, the first 2 seasons, everything happens so freaking quickly. After episode 1, after that, the next 6 episodes, everyone evolves. And so it feels like the pace is so fast.
Yeah.
And so that's how I feel about this show. And so if I had any qualms, it would be kind of that sense where it's like, to Corey's point, if they took it a little slower, I wouldn't mind it because it would have been like every episode's a new gym, where every episode's like a Pokemon that he caught that was really important.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened with the show, was that they're like, hey, we can kind of make a show that just talks about the character's based off of this character. But what happens with Pokemon, it's like it never feels like it's ever going to end. You'll get to like 3 episodes before you ever feel like progress is happening, especially in the later seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I heard Pokemon Sun and Moon is phenomenal. Like the art style is whatever if you don't like it, but like animation battling is great. And he fucking won for the first time in like 20 goddamn
It's been a
years.
long time.
And so like SpongeBob still doesn't have his driver's license, so whatever. But
Fair.
It's true.
no. So with Pokemon Origins, like if anything, it's like a twofold. I'm sad that it's over, but I'm also sad that it's super short.
Yeah.
That's mainly it, because I'm like, I want to stay in these moments a little bit more. Like I want to see what the Pokemon Mansion really like.
There
how
were
that
a few moments in his like intro, and then I did this. I was like, oh, I really want to see that.
Well, yeah, and then like you don't see what happens. Like you have to go through the Seafoam Islands to get to Cinnabar Island.
Yeah.
In that time, you would have found Articuno, and so I'm like, that would have been a really cool moment before Blaine, because like, and to me that was a weird thing. Like I know that's Corey's favorite episode, but like I felt really weird that they spent one whole episode in Lavender Town versus like one whole episode in like Cinnabar Island, or one whole episode in like Vermilion City or
Well,
Saffron.
and yeah, exactly. And then if they had those 8 episodes, they could have explored those
But
things.
I'm also
But-
asking a toy commercial to be a narrative.
right.
So I'm like,
Come
Same thing with me. Same
Yeah.
thing with me. I just wanted
Yeah.
it to be like a full series, but it's a
Like-
commercial.
like
for-
like Transformers, like,
X and
hey,
Y.
we're here to sell toys. We didn't expect movie deals and stuff like that. Like, how are you going to hold us on? Like, that guy turned into a gun.
hey, look, Batman
and-
Beyond and Batman Forever and Batman and Robin were made to sell toys. They
Beyond?
can do a series.
Batman
What?
Beyond?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, they can definitely do it. They have to have the idea, like, we're here to sell this new idea versus like, hey, we're having a new thing and this is kind of like a celebratory anniversary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see if they ever want to do something like that. I would love it if they did Origins like a second season, and then it's only
Mhm.
about like the Johto region.
Hmm.
So it did
Yeah.
silver and gold, and it's like
Do
from
one
there.
for each of the series.
Yeah, and then because the cool thing that they had was that like the leader of like Team Rocket, like the way they allude it is that Giovanni has a son, and then he's the main
And
villain.
he's not about it. He's like, no, the Rocket League is still going.
He's the main. Well, he's more like a rogue dude. You meet him in the game, and he steals a Pokemon,
Oh.
and so that's a really cool thing. It's like, my villain's a criminal. That's dope.
Wow.
Caitlin?
I think that the only thing that really like stuck out and bothered me was the Pokemon sounds sometimes.
Marowak, for me, a little bit.
Marowak was a little weird. And also like knowing a voice really well
Oh yeah.
makes it really hard to like hear it as a character too. So I don't know like if it's just like knowing that person, or if it was also because I watched all the 4Kids stuff. So I have in my mind, like as a kid,
Mm.
the sounds that I'm used to coming out of Pokemon. Like
Mm.
this Brock was also really weird for me because I'm used to like Bill Rogers.
Yeah. You used to.
So-
I'm going to turn this
And
frying
Professor
pan
Oak in that
into a
case.
drying pan, and you used to put Professor Oak, well done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
some of that was a little weird, but I don't know if that's just nostalgia glasses coming
It
on real
sounds like it.
hard or
Well, I think
but-
it's it's not like a nostalgia glass hitting you, but I think it's like you're conflicted between what has been your first like impression of it versus this
Right.
new iteration. Of it.
right.
It's kind of like everyone be like, Andrew Garfield's my Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire's my Spider-Man. So it's like,
Yeah.
it happens. I think it's just something you wrestle with.
Yeah. So it's not like a real qualm. It's just more of like I liked it when he said char.
Charmander instead of
Charmander.
Char.
No, yeah.
Char.
The random like squeaks was weird.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mean, I think they did that honestly in the show to make sure you sold the toy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we know that's a fucking Charmander.
Yeah.
But then if you ever play the games,
Still sell me the toy.
you hear the
I want it.
you hear the Pokemon cry. It's just okay. That's a Rhyhorn.
That's probably more what they were going for too.
Yeah.
Of like the old games, like they didn't make char. It was
No.
like
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Just like
if you
that.
ever hear a tentacle, it's just like it's like, what the fuck is that?
Death.
Cool. So all the qualms out.
Yeah.
The rating?
Now we go to rating. So who's first? Me.
Yep.
You, Tom.
Spotlight.
Rating 1 out of 5 for a commercial for a toy. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Wow.
I'm not, like again, like
It has no right being this good.
it's not.
a
Yeah, it's not supposed to
commercial.
be that good.
That's
like
fair.
I
yeah.
actually read an article that somebody was saying this is actually the best Pokemon anime that has been made.
A lot of people will say their only qualm is that it ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Mhm.
to me, it's kind of like the Jason Momoa's Carhartt pants. I'm like, what the fuck, man? You made a documentary
Yeah.
to sell
Oh,
these
yeah.
jeans, and it's like you made a 4-arc like anime series to sell this
All the
one
fans went,
mechanic.
you sons of bitches.
Yeah.
And it's like y'all had this up here, but I mean, it did take 3 directors from 3 different studios, or 4 directors from 3 different studios to make this. So I'm like, if they had the resources and they wanted a crunch time, they could probably make it. But then I think also Ash is doing just fine for them being like
He's
selling his.
fine.
And then now with movies, like Detective Pikachu did just fine.
Yeah.
So I mean, like if we ever see that come out again, it would have to be under like huge demand.
Yeah.
Which I'd be down.
I've-
Release the origin cut.
Didn't they just have the
Release the Poke Cut.
the they had
I don't know,
the
you're shaking
Pokemon
your hands.
movie come out?
Oh,
that
the
was, like,
remake.
the remake. Yeah.
So they had 2 remakes. So they had Pokemon I Choose You Pikachu, and that retells the entire first story of Ash and Pikachu fighting
Right.
the Fearos,
right.
and then Pikachu at the end of the movie talks for no reason.
Uh huh.
And then they redid Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes
The
Back
movie.
Right.
with in its 3D art style.
Yes.
And
yeah. Which was basically shot for shot remake.
yeah. I had a friend tell me that they weren't too privy to it, but like I was like, I'll have to watch it. I think it's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
So I'm down. And if it's, I mean, it's
Bonus
not,
episode.
it probably won't be the same voice actors, but Veronica Taylor was the original Ash, but we'll see what
I
happens.
know
She
Bill
doesn't do it
Rogers was
anymore, yeah.
back.
A
Hey.
frying pan.
Josh.
It's way too good for a commercial, but it's good. It's 5.
Ooh,
It's a 5. My qualm is so minuscule that it took me out for like a second. Not enough for me to go, this is so shit. This is bad.
What if they did
No,
this
I
for
was so good.
What if they did this for Final Fantasy VII?
That'd be interesting.
Pants just expanded.
Interesting. Corey?
Because they're balloon pants.
Yeah.
Corey?
Back to you, Corey.
Shit.
Oh shit, he's gonna be the grumpy. He doesn't like it.
No, it's a 5.
Oh damn.
No, my only qualm is that I wish that had
More.
5 more episodes. So yeah.
Caitlin's a grump. Let's do it. No, she got 5. No, she's a grump.
I'm the grump.
Yeah, she is.
What is it?
I took off like 0.01. Just
4.9?
because 4.9.
Oh.
Just because like some of the nostalgia was it took me out of it a little bit and that like was hard. But I know it's nostalgia based. And
Josh, I'm sorry
great.
that I pointed at you as the grump. I should have known Caitlin and her bullshit. I'm kidding now. You were welcome.
4.9.
That means
You are the
Josh
worst.
and I were
0.9.
correct.
9999.
Da-da-da.
Yay.
Josh, digital high five.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Did anyone from the Nerd on Nation vote for Caitlin? No?
No.
It's because I'm a huge Pokemon
Caitlin.
fan, and a lot of people know that.
Caitlin.
It really like
You made them feel bad for guessing wrong. I'm kidding.
it's fine.
You bring shame to the Pokemon
God
League.
damn it! No.
Guess somebody's
Did I
not going
switch
into the
it
Hall of
back
Fame.
to 5?
Well,
No,
there you
it's
go. I mean, again, you're a grump at 4.9. We're fine.
99999. It's literally like the teeniest percentile off, just because
But
of the
it's still
nostalgia.
whoever's
affected
the
me.
lowest.
I know.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
So,
Yeah.
You're the grump.
That's all good. That was fun.
Dun,
Single
dun.
tier.
Da-da-da. Oh, that's the champion battle.
That's the sound of Caitlin's fire tail extinguishing.
Do-do-do.
I
She is
die? So I'm the grump and I die?
No, you sounded sad.
Dun,
Oh.
dun, 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 dun.
That's what I meant.
There you go.
Okay.
You're at the Pokemon Center now.
Oh, if I could say one more qualm, and it doesn't affect the score at all, it's still a 5. I was sad that Nurse Joy doesn't look like Nurse Joy.
What?
She looks like plain Jane. Nurse Joy has
Oh.
hot, like light pink,
Hot pink hair.
Greeny Moon, Chibi Moon, like hair, and has a little plus sign on her little hat thingy. And this one's like dark pink. I'm like, oh
She's great.
no.
Tom has a fetish.
No, I just like the
Immediately
Because he idolizes
defensive.
Brock.
no, iconography. But to me, Brock, I think was done well. Obviously, he's not like a companion, which I would have wanted, but like he was so good because he was like the first mentor,
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, it's different than the game.
This Brock was very mature, and that threw me off.
Yeah, he has 6 brothers and sisters, and his dad left them.
Well,
He
that was my tail extinguishing.
and it's Johnny Young Bosch,
Yeah.
the hero voice of all.
I do actually. Just one more quick favorite part is when. So fucking Red's first battle, he tries to steal the Pokemon. The kid's like,
It's like,
"Hey,
whoa,
what the fuck, man?"
whoa,
Real talk. I tried doing that and I didn't know that like you couldn't steal Pokemon. And then I literally saw like can't catch Pokemon. Stop that thief. And I was like, who the fuck is saying that?
Yeah, because their hand like slaps it away in the game.
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck says that?
Denied.
And then I kept trying to throw. I was like,
Oh
okay,
my
I can't
God,
catch
Tom.
this. Because I was like, oh, I don't have that, and that nowhere else has it, so I can catch it. I was like Spirit. When IKEAs go away, I'm a Spirit store. I'm like, this
He's
is
a
mine.
child. All right, everybody.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much for joining us for this conversation.
There will be more
Let us know what you thought of Pokemon Origins, who you thought was the grump, what you thought of this episode. We love hearing from you all. Please reach out to us on social media. What do you say, Tom? Slip and slide?
Hard in those DMs. Slip and
Wow.
slide and strip and grind
Nope.
into those
No,
DMs.
that's not a
Nope.
thing.
Just message us.
If you are new
That's
to
all.
Nerd On, please check out our website, nerdon.tv. Stop by wherever you listen, do rate and review. Put a little like on the YouTube video if you're watching on there. Subscribe there. We love all that stuff. We love your comments. We love hearing from you all.
And
Great.
tell us what you thought of Pokemon Origins.
Oh my
and-
God. Yeah, let's
and
talk about it. I
What,
want to talk
what,
about
what,
it.
what you would want.
I always feel like I have to just like throw in this random like audible in the middle of your spiel, Josh, and I'm sorry.
Or repeat what I just said.
And also take care of yourself. You didn't say that.
Touche. I did not
Take
say
care of
what I'm
yourselves.
Wash your
we-
hands, wash your Pokemon.
Love yourself.
Don't touch
Yeah.
your face.
Don't touch
Treat
your face.
yourself.
and then slip and slide into Josh's DMs. He likes that.
I just touched my face.
I don't mind that.
He loves that. He
Anyway.
does his sensual dance.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Love you all. You know the drill. As always, nerd on.
Ending broadcast.